This is NBR Today. Christmas Day will mark 7 months since the start of the EU's General Data Protection Regulation. And while there are still a lot of unknowns, some clear implications are emerging, including some companies struggling to comply. When it was passed in 2016, GDPR was described as the most important change to data privacy in 20 years that would fundamentally reshape the way in which data is handled across every sector. After giving organisations time to align their systems, the regulation came into force in May. Simon Stewart partner Avril Dixon says the core of GDPR is to give control of personal data back to the individual using the stick of charging a maximum of 4% of global turnover or €20 million per offence as a penalty. She spoke to NBR's Nathan Smith.
I think there was a lot of panic and fear coming into it. I mean, I remember coming up to the 25th of May, I did a search on my inbox and I had 900 emails that had the word GDPR in them. There was people sending privacy policies left, right and centre and inquiring about it. So that panic has, I think, settled down. At the moment, there's not been a lot of regulatory action so far, and the two sort of cases that are underway are sort of big data collection in sort of quite political areas as well.
Wellington-based online education platform LearnCoach has closed a $1.5 million seed round, including investment from NBR Rich Lister Danny Chan, as it looks to expand into Asian markets. LearnCoach was founded by David Cameron, his wife Deborah Lambie, and his brother Mark in 2012. It creates video tutorials to teach NCEA subjects for students who can't be in a physical classroom or for those who want to extend beyond their classroom learning. Besides Danny Chan, who co-founded New Zealand's largest education company ACG, investors in the seed round include Andrew Preston, founder of Publons, the world's largest academic peer review platform, and Eden Ventures, which led the round and wants to take the low-cost school system to Asia. Mr. Cameron says the seed money will help scale the business faster and reach more students with more relevant tutorials to help them succeed. New carpets blending hemp and wool are likely to be the result from a tie-up between Hemp New Zealand and wool processing company NZ Yarn. Hemp New Zealand has acquired a 15% interest in NZ Yarn for an undisclosed sum and plans to open a hemp fibre processing facility at its Christchurch factory. The partnership wants to develop new consumer products made from hemp yarn, wool and hemp yarn blends, and innovations in hemp processing, including carpets and insulation and fireproof products for the construction industry. NZ Yarn Chair Craig Carr says the partnership allows the company to broaden its portfolio and customer base with a product that has huge unrealised potential. The hemp processing line in the NZ Yarn factory is expected to be the first of its kind in New Zealand. The annual current account deficit continues to widen, though the value of exported goods and services still outweighs the cost of imports. This is the largest since 2009, but expressed as the equivalent of GDP is 3.6% compared with 3.3% in June. Stats NZ says during the year, New Zealand exported $82 billion worth of goods and services. Now, here's a question for you. Who could possibly complain about the spending of $1.4 billion on our roads to make them safer? Answer: Rodney Hyde. The government announced at the weekend that New Zealand's most high-risk roads, some 870 kilometres of high-volume state highways nationwide, will receive a $1.4 billion safety upgrade. It said that spend was just the start of what is needed to keep Kiwi drivers safe. But Mr Hyde says it's that wishful thinking that leaves him worried there is no one in charge capable of ensuring our hard-earned cash is well spent. He says making roads less safe has been found to reduce fatalities as drivers respond to the riskier environment by driving slower and more carefully.
It's complex without obvious answer, and the Minister has absolutely no clue of how to back her zero-tolerance talk. Besides, she's a Green. What interest does she have in cars? Still, the Honourable Julianne Genter is only Associate Minister. There's a Minister in charge. I checked. I know. It's the Honourable Phil Twyford. $1.4 billion. Poof.
To tomorrow, our last NBR Today for the year. Fiona Rotherham speaks to NZTE CEO Peter Crisp on the 7 key steps to being a successful exporter. So for more on that and other stories, just head to our website. Have a pleasant evening.
To unlock your 2 free articles a week, head to nbr.co.nz.